Hello everyone, it's Ed. Today I'm going to be walking you through the Territory Defense event. This is an Alliance group event that becomes available once every 2 weeks and will be available to do for that 7-day period. Anyone in the Alliance can participate, but only the R5 or an R4 can start the event. Territory Defense is basically an endurance test to see how long your Alliance can keep going. As soon as it starts, endless waves of monsters will start attacking your Alliance flags. The Alliance's job is to send their armies to the flags to help defend them. But don't worry, any troops that become injured in the event will just go to your hospital. They won't die. As your flags are attacked, they're going to lose defense power, and once one of those flags reaches 0% defense, the event will stop. Now, before we dive into the how of territory defense, let's take a look at the why, those event rewards. Each time you attack a monster, you'll score points depending on how much damage you dealt. That score is going to determine what rewards you get. You can potentially earn 3 different rewards from this event. The first, you'll get that immediately after the event ends, and it'll be based on your individual points. The second and third rewards will be sent out the following Monday and are going to be based on the rankings for the realm. The top 10 alliances and top 50 lords will all receive these ranking rewards. All of these rewards include some valuable stuff like resource crates, gems, and materials chests. Now, the number of gems you can receive, especially if you earn one of the ranking prizes, make this a great event for those who are free-to-play players, those that don't really want to spend any money. And if your alliance ranks in the top 10, you'll also get both Alliance Honor and Alliance Points, which are a huge bonus. There are 4 different types of monsters you will face in the event, each with a different resistance to certain troop types, which means that that type of troop won't really do a lot of damage to them. So to make sure you're doing as much damage as possible and racking up those points, you're going to want to have different army formation presets saved to face each type of monster. First, we have skeletons, which are resistant to archers. So go ahead and use the following troop setup. 25 to 35% infantry, 1 even and 1 odd tiered cavalry, 1 angel if you have it, 1 even and 1 odd tiered archer, and then you're going to fill the rest with mages. Next are fire demons, which are resistant to mages. For this guy, you're going to want to use the following setup. 25 to 35% infantry, 1 even and 1 odd tiered cavalry, 1 angel if you have it, 1 even and 1 odd tiered mage, and then fill the rest with archers. Minotaurs are resistant to cavalry, so use this setup on them. 25 to 35% infantry, 1 even and 1 odd tiered cavalry, 1 angel if you have it, and then fill the rest with a mixture of mages and archers. You can choose whatever mixture you want. I would recommend making it more prominent for whichever of those 2 troops that you have better gear and better research for. And last, we have rock giants. Now, these guys are resistant to infantry, which you'd think would mean that you should just send cavalry instead of infantry. In my personal experience, cavalry sucks. So I tend to use the same setup as for the Minotaur. The infantry won't do a lot of damage, but they'll survive longer than your cavalry will, which will give your back row troops time to do the damage that they need. And I also want to add, if going through and seeing all these different troop setups is a little confusing to you, then I do recommend that you go ahead and watch the army composition video that I have to kind of explain what all of this means. The key to a successful territory defense is to have well-prepared and coordinated participants. So the Alliance is going to need to do a little prep before the event actually starts. First, the Alliance will need to pick a time that will work best for most players and get as many of them online for the event as possible. If you have specific days and times that work best for you, communicate that with the event leader. The event leader is the one who will be coordinating the whole event. They won't be telling every player exactly where to attack each time because this would just get confusing as the battle heats up. But they will post crucial flags that need to be guarded and remind everybody to heal their troops. You're also going to want to know who has the largest rally sizes so that those people can focus on being the first to reach an undefended flag. The number of reinforcements each flag can take is determined by the holder with the largest rally size. Everyone else should time their marches to land with monsters for a timed reinforcement. I'm not going to go into stating a number for what's a large rally size and what's not, as that's going to keep changing as we progress through the game. So you'll want to check in with the other alliance members before each territory defense to see where you fit in. And finally, before the event starts, you're going to want to make sure your army is ready for it. Go ahead and activate any buffs you want to use, equip lore gear that will help with combat stats, especially for march speed and monster attack speed, and set up your army presets for each of the monster types. Now, time to actually start the event. The first wave of monsters will emerge from a nearby ancient ruins. At this point, you can go into the territory defense screen by clicking on the wave number icon on the world map view. From the screen, you can see the list of flags in order from least remaining defense down to most. You can also see which monster type is attacking it, whether it's currently under attack or if the monster is still en route, and how many players are actively defending that flag. Now, the players with the largest rally sizes should begin reinforcing these flags first, while the rest of the team hangs back. As the monsters get closer, other players should begin sending their troops to reinforce those flags, trying to time them to where the troops will reach the flag shortly before the monsters do. To reinforce a flag, simply click on it in the world map, then click the Reinforce option. Then you're going to go ahead and choose the preset troop configuration you want depending on which type of monster is attacking that flag and send them to march. As armies are defeated by the monsters, they will be sent back to their castles automatically, with the wounded troops being sent to the hospitals. But when you win the battle, your army is going to stay camped out and you will need to manually recall them so that you can replenish the wounded troops and send them out to the next target. An easy way to do this is to look at what is listed on the button to the right of each of your marches when you're on the world map. If the button says retreat, this means that march is actively battling. But if the button says withdraw, that means the march has stationed a flag that isn't being attacked. So go ahead and click on the withdraw button to call your troops back so that you can send them to a flag that needs defending. Also, you should frequently pop into your castle to heal, then quickly send troops back out. Always have all of your marches reinforcing against monsters constantly, even if you don't have enough troops for a full march. Just go ahead and get those troops on those flags. After the first one or two waves, things will get a little more chaotic. Players will have a lot of flags listed as under attack, and they're going to need to make smart choices as to where they send their troops. The players with the highest rally sizes should keep targeting the flags that currently don't have anyone on defense. They'll want to focus on the ones that are listed near the top first, as those are the ones with the least remaining defense. The rest of the players should send troops to the flags with the lowest defense remaining that do already have someone defending. This should prevent a player with a small rally size ending up being the first to reach the flag and preventing large numbers of troops from being sent. Now, if a flag does end up with a full rally, but you still want to send more reinforcements, you can always use the timed defense method. Now, I've covered timed defense in my video on defending, so I'm not going to go over it again here. Just pop on over to that video if you want to learn how to do it. And that's it. Just rinse and repeat sending out marches until one of your flags gets destroyed. Then sit back and wait for the rewards. Once your alliance finishes territory defense, you can go into the event screen to view your current alliance and individual lord rankings.